During a family trip, my mother grabbed my purse and said, "We'll be using your credit card for this trip." I just smiled and said, "Then you'll love this message from the bank." She started screaming when she read it. That's when I knew things were about to go wrong. At the airport, my mom was standing there holding my purse like she'd just won something big. She had that smug look she always gets when she thinks she's in control. "We'll be using your credit card for this trip," she said, acting like she'd pulled off something clever. I just smiled, pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and showed her the screen. "Then you're going to love this message from the bank." Her face went pale as she read the message. Then she started yelling. Let me explain. Growing up, saying no was never an option. If I refused, I'd be labeled as the selfish daughter who didn't care about her family. The guilt trips and constant calls would be endless. So, I agreed to the trip but made sure to book my own flight and hotel room. No sharing, and no way for them to touch my money. I was going, but I wasn't about to let them take advantage of me. My mother hated that. She whined and pouted but eventually seemed to let it go, or so I thought. At the airport, after we landed, I was already exhausted. I had spent the whole flight preparing myself for whatever nonsense my mom was about to pull, and right away, she made her move. She yanked my purse from my hands. "We'll be using your credit card for this trip," she said, looking all smug and proud of herself. But I didn't even flinch. I smiled, pulled out my phone, and showed her my banking app. Her eyes scanned the message, then read it again, and then she screamed. I had planned for this. A week before the trip, I called my bank and explained everything about how my mom would try to use my money. The bank rep was helpful. Together, we put security measures in place. My card was locked to my location, meaning any charges outside my area would be declined unless I approved them through my app. And to make sure, I set my daily spending limit to just $1. My mom stared at my phone, gripping my purse so tightly her knuckles went white. "What did you do?" she snapped. I just shrugged. Bank security. They thought it was suspicious that big charges were coming from somewhere I hadn't been yet. Her face twisted in anger. "Fix it now." But I was done. I checked into my hotel, proud of myself. My room was on a different floor than theirs, a choice I made on purpose. I needed space and some peace. The next morning, things got worse. I woke up to loud banging on my door. I looked through the peephole and saw my mom. Furious, I opened the door just a crack, keeping the chain locked. "What?" She shoved a crumpled paper through the gap. "The front desk says our card was declined. We can't check into our room. Fix it." I stared at her. "You didn't prepay?" She rolled her eyes. "Why would we? We planned to use your card, obviously." I almost laughed. Instead, I handed the paper back. "That sounds like your problem." She slammed her fist against the doorframe. "You think this is funny? Where are we supposed to sleep?" I shrugged. "Maybe you should have brought your own money." She completely lost it, screaming, threatening, blaming me for ruining the trip. But I realized something. My father was just as bad. He never stood up for me, never told her she was wrong. I shook my head. "Not my problem." And then I closed the door in her face. But she wasn't done. An hour later, my phone blew up with calls, texts, and voicemails. I ignored them all. Then came a knock on my door, a polite one this time. I looked through the peephole. It wasn't my mom or dad, it was hotel security. I sighed, already knowing what was coming. I opened the door. "What's the problem?" The security guy gave me a strained smile. "Your parents are at the front desk. They're saying you stole their money and left them stranded." I laughed. "You're joking, right?" He didn't laugh back. "They're insisting you let them stay in your room." "Oh, absolutely not." I crossed my arms. "Do they have proof I stole anything?" He hesitated. "Well, no, but..." I cut him off. "Then they're lying. I booked this room with my own money. They tried to steal from me, and now they're dealing with the consequences. Not my problem." He looked uncomfortable. "Look, I'm not trying to take sides, but they're saying they have nowhere else to go. The hotel is fully booked." I raised an eyebrow. "Still not my problem." Another voice spoke up. "She's right." The hotel manager appeared, a tired-looking woman with sharp eyes. "I checked the system. You paid for your room. Your parents didn't. If they can't pay, they'll have to leave." My mother's angry yelling echoed down the hall, and then, they were gone. But my mother wasn't finished. That night, I went to the resort bar to get a drink. I was starting to relax when my phone buzzed, an alert from my bank. Attempted login from an unrecognized device. My stomach dropped, then another alert, password reset requested. I felt a chill run down my spine. I rushed back to my room, locked the door, and opened my banking app. Just as I suspected, someone, I wonder who, was trying to hack into my account. I quickly changed everything, new password, added extra security steps, and turned on all alerts. Then I called my bank and put a fraud alert on my account. Finally, I sent my mother a text, "Nice try, hope you enjoy the rest of your trip." No response, but the next morning, my dad called. "She says you locked her out of the bank." I smiled. "No, I locked me out of the bank. She just happened to be trying to break in at the time." Silence, then he sighed. "You know how she gets." "Yeah," I said, "and I'm done with it." That was when I decided to stop playing defense. It was time to fight back. I spent my whole life letting my mother get away with her bad behavior. She'd lie, manipulate, and steal, always using the excuse that she was my mother and that family takes care of each other. But trying to break into my bank account? That crossed a line. So, I made a decision. I grabbed my laptop, logged into my accounts, and froze my credit. That meant no one could open new accounts in my name, not even me, without going through extra security steps. Then, I looked at my bank transactions and found something disturbing. My mother had already been stealing from me. There were small withdrawals over the past 6 months, $20 here, $50 there, spread out so I wouldn't notice. I felt sick. Somehow, she had gotten my card information or convinced someone at the bank to give her access. I called my bank, reported the fraud, and asked them to check every account in my name. They reissued my card, changed my security questions, and blocked every device that had accessed my account, including my own. It was maximum security. Then, I texted my mother, "I found all the money you took. The bank is investigating. Expect a call soon." She replied instantly, saying, "How dare you? We're family. I didn't steal anything. You're being crazy." I ignored her. I had more work to do. I called my dad. He never defended me, but I needed to hear what he had to say. "Dad," I said, "did you know Mom was taking money from me?" He sighed. "She said you were helping us out." I didn't ask questions. "So, you knew?" I asked. More silence. "She said you'd be fine with it." I laughed bitterly. "Well, the bank isn't fine with it." His voice changed. "Wait, what did you do?" I reported it. "It's fraud. The bank is investigating." He panicked. You can't do that." "Watch me," I said. Then, things got worse. An hour later, my sibling called me. They were a few years younger, the golden child who never got treated like me. I hesitated before answering. "What?" I snapped. They sounded shaky. "She did it to me, too." "What?" I asked, shocked. I checked my account. She took money from me, a lot, hundreds, maybe more. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just about me, she had been stealing from both of us. Then it hit me, she hadn't planned to use my credit card for the trip. She had already spent whatever money they had brought. That's why she had no backup plan or money to pay for their room. But if she thought I was a problem, she had no idea what was coming, because my sibling was furious. Unlike me, they didn't take betrayal well, and that's when the real revenge started. My sibling and I teamed up. "Let's end this," they said, and I agreed. Step 1, let her dig her own grave. We didn't say anything to her right away. We let her think she had gotten away with it. We ignored her calls and watched her panic. By the next day, she was desperate. She sent texts, blaming me for everything. "I am your mother. You owe me respect. This is your fault for abandoning us. We have no money because of you." Then she said something hilarious. "I called the bank and told them you made a mistake. They're going to unfreeze everything." I laughed. She had no idea the bank already knew she was lying. I had spoken to the fraud department personally. They were ready to stop her. But the best part? The real revenge was just beginning. Step 2, hit her where it hurts. While my mom kept blowing up my phone, my sibling was busy looking up her financial history. What they found was worse than we thought. Mom wasn't just bad with money, she was drowning in debt. Maxed out credit cards, late fees, personal loans. She was using our money to survive, not just for a vacation, and she had no idea we knew. So, we made a plan. Step 3, the trap. My sibling called her while I listened on speaker. "Mom," they said, their voice shaky like they were scared. "I don't know what to do. I just checked my account, and there's money missing, a lot of it." Mom jumped right into her fake caring mode. "Oh, honey, that's terrible. Are you sure you didn't spend it by accident?" My sibling played along. "No, I didn't. I think someone stole from me. She acted all sweet. Oh, sweetie, don't worry, I'll help you figure it out. I had to cover my mouth to keep from laughing. She was still lying and pretending to be innocent. Then, my sibling dropped the bomb. Well, the bank is already investigating. They're tracking where the money went, so I guess we'll know soon. Silence. A long, awkward silence. Then, Mom's voice turned cold and angry. You didn't have to do that. Why not? My sibling asked, sounding all innocent. If it's just a mistake, they'll fix it, right? More silence. Then, you ungrateful little brat. Bingo. Step 4, the public meltdown. We were done being nice. My sibling went straight to the hotel manager and told her everything, the stolen money, the lies, the fraud. They even showed proof from our mom's texts. The manager was furious. Apparently, Mom had been causing trouble all week, complaining, yelling at staff, demanding free perks because she was a loyal guest. The manager was more than happy to handle her. Security found my mom at the pool, sipping a drink she couldn't afford, and when they asked her to leave, she completely lost it, screaming, crying, throwing things. She called the staff names, demanded to see the hotel owner, and even pretended to be sick for sympathy. But it didn't work. The manager said the magic words, "Ma'am, the police have been called." Mom went dead silent. She tried to run, but security stopped her. My sibling looked her in the eye and said, "You did this to yourself." Step 5, the final blow. They kicked my mom out of the hotel and banned her. She was humiliated in front of everyone, and then, she had to figure out how to get home. My dad? He was done. After seeing how she tried to destroy both her kids, he finally snapped. He booked himself a separate flight home and left her stranded. She had no credit card, no money, no way to book a flight. And us? We enjoyed the rest of our vacation without her. The aftermath, when we got home, I followed up with the bank. They confirmed Mom had stolen thousands from both me and my sibling over the years. We pressed charges, and she got hit with fraud charges. The court made her pay back every penny. When she couldn't, they froze her accounts. She lost everything. She called me crying, begging for help. I blocked her number. Now, years later, my sibling and I are doing great. We have real financial security. We take vacations we actually pay for. And Mom? She's still drowning in debt, blaming everyone but herself. But us? We're free, and that's the best revenge of all.